The glass door slammed against the wall hard enough to make the conference table tremble. Amara didn't even look up at first. Her fingers were still moving across the keyboard, finishing the final line of a report Jisoo had requested 10 minutes earlier. The office around her had the quiet hum of late afternoon tension, the kind that settled into a building when important people had been arguing behind closed doors for too long. Then the voice came, sharp, dismissive, loud enough for the entire executive wing to hear. So, you're the new assistant. Amara slowly lifted her eyes. A man stood just inside the doorway, tall and broad-shouldered, his silver hair combed neatly back in the controlled style of someone who had spent decades sitting at the top of powerful rooms. His suit was dark charcoal, cut expensively, and the way he held himself carried the unmistakable weight of someone who expected to be obeyed without question. Behind him, two junior staff members hovered awkwardly. Amara pushed her chair back and stood politely. Yes, she said calmly. The man walked further into the office, slow and deliberate. You're Miss Johnson. Yes. His gaze lingered on her face. Then he smiled. It wasn't friendly. I expected someone different. Amara had already learned that tone in the past week. People who spoke like that usually expected her to apologize for existing. Instead, she simply asked, How may I help you? The question seemed to amuse him. You may start by bringing me coffee. The junior staff behind him shifted uncomfortably. Amara didn't move. I'm afraid that won't be possible. His eyebrows rose slowly. Won't it? My role here is executive coordination, she replied evenly. I handle scheduling, meeting preparation, and board communications. So you don't make coffee? No. The silence stretched. Then he laughed under his breath. Interesting. He stepped closer to the desk. You must be new to how things work around here. Amara met his gaze without flinching. I am. Then let me explain something to you. In this company, when a board member asks for something, you do it. A small pulse of tension ran through the hallway outside the office. Amara kept her voice calm. If you would like coffee, I can ask the hospitality team to bring some. The man's smile vanished. You're refusing. I'm redirecting. His eyes hardened. What did you say your name was again? Amara Johnson. He nodded slowly. You'll learn very quickly, Miss Johnson, that this office does not run on your preferences. It runs on efficiency. His lips pressed together. And right now, he continued, the efficient thing would be for you to do as you're told. Behind him, the glass doors of the executive hallway opened. Kang Jisoo stepped inside. He had heard the raised voices before he even reached the office. His expression didn't change as he walked in, but his eyes moved immediately to Amara, then to the man standing across from her desk. Chairman Lee, Jisoo said smoothly. The older man turned. There you are. Jisoo approached slowly. I didn't realize you had arrived. I decided to stop by unannounced. His gaze flicked briefly toward Amara again. Your assistant and I were having a discussion about expectations. Jisoo's eyes rested on Amara. She looked calm, composed, but he could see the tension in the way her shoulders held perfectly still. What kind of expectations? He asked. Chairman Lee shrugged lightly. I asked for coffee. Jisoo said nothing, and she refused. The hallway outside had gone completely quiet now. No one wanted to miss this. Jisoo glanced at Amara. She met his gaze steadily. He could see the question in her eyes. Are you going to say something? Instead, he simply turned back to the chairman. I see. Chairman Lee smiled faintly. You see the problem. I see the situation. The chairman tilted his head slightly. And Jisoo slipped his hands into his pockets. Miss Johnson's responsibilities don't include hospitality service. Amara felt a small shift in the air. The chairman's eyes narrowed slightly. But she can still get coffee. If she chooses to. And if she doesn't? Jisoo's tone remained calm. Then the hospitality team will assist you. The chairman studied him carefully. So you're allowing your assistant to ignore board requests. I'm allowing her to do the job she was hired for. For a moment, the tension thickened again. Then the chairman chuckled softly. You've always had an interesting management style. The older man glanced back at Amara one last time. Well then, we'll see how long that confidence lasts. He turned and walked out. The hallway slowly breathed again. Jisoo looked at Amara. You handled it well. You didn't say much. I said enough. Later that evening, inside the boardroom, Jisoo sat across from Chairman Lee. You blocked Director Han's transfer request, the chairman said. I did. You did it because of her. I did it because it was politically motivated. The chairman watched him carefully. You're protecting her. Jisoo leaned back calmly. I'm protecting competence. The older man smiled slowly. We'll see how long you can keep doing that. Outside the office, Amara sat at her desk, completely unaware that behind closed doors, the CEO had just defended her to the most powerful man in the company.